Welcome to the Daily Jing for Friday, September 22nd. Here's the quote of the day. There are two things you need to remember about concrete. It's always getting harder and it cracks. Ernie, foreman on the Millersville, West Frederick Street project. This was a couple years ago. So let's look at the schedule. This is Friday of the fourth week, 22nd. I'll continue with the green discussion. Remember, there's two different discussions, one for each section of the course. Next week, Monday, the View and Do 2.2 is due, and then start the 2.3, and by the end of the week, the Reflection Invitation paper is due, or finally due that Monday, October 2nd. So the paper is due Monday at 6 a.m., October 2nd, posted to Google Docs and shared with me and your peer group. I will create peer groups next week. Okay? So back to the notes. The two reflection invitation paper is a difficult paper, not because the subject is difficult, coming up with how you learn to do something, but it's difficult because you have to give your reader the experience of learning. You have to dramatize the moment you learn to do something. It's more of a mental thing than a physical thing, although you do the physical, find your carter on the stairs and actually look him in the eye. But then you figure out by connecting that encounter with some mysterious bit of information you received sometime before your Bowen, something at the time you did not understand. The process goes from previous information wondered about but not understood to an experience you have where you attempt some feat and fail, back to that piece of previous information you don't understand, to the realization of how you can do whatever you were trying to do because you now understand what that previous information means. It has become knowledge. The paper occurs in one scene with a flashback. It's hard to get your mind around until you figure that you have to use the previous information as a tool for understanding. And this is the hard part. This sequence where you recover some past information, your Bowen, to use it to learn to do something, did not necessarily happen at the time, but it must be employed to create the myth of learning. Okay? In this paper, you must create it at the time, even if it didn't exist. Fudge the truth. Bring the previous information back to help you figure out how you learn to do whatever. The hardest part of this assignment is to lie about the fact that you weren't thinking about the previous information when you learned to do that thing, but you must. You have to lie in an attempt to show us the truth. The assignment demands that you let the previous information, your Bowen, help you figure out how you can learn to do X, even though in reality it might not have. Yet it has to be plausible that it could have helped you, and you need to have it help you so your reader can understand your experience of learning. Well, the question of the day is, the first draft of the paper is due next Friday, a week from today, or finally due by the next Monday at 6 a.m., October 2nd. Okay, thank you. Bye.